students, this is Cristel Joy Bartolo, your English teacher for the day. So, how are you students? Very good. Seems you're very happy today. Let's proceed with our new lesson for the day. But before that, let me first cite the learning objective of this lesson. So, at the end of the lesson, the students will be able to use verbs when giving information and making explanation. Understood? Very good. Since we don't have any discussion last meeting, let's proceed and read the following sentences lifted from the text A Shawl for Anita. Let's read together. Number 1. Mother brought us up single-handedly. Number 2. She looked at her handiwork. Number 3. Mother sacrificed much for us. Number 4. I envied Anita. Number 5. Anita touched my arm gently. So, what have you observed from these 5 sentences? Anyone? Okay, very good. So, what do these italicized words have in common? Okay, very good. So, what do you call these kinds of words? Yes. Okay. Next, when do we use these words? Okay, since you have many answers, let's find out if these answers are correct as we go on with our new lesson. So, our lesson for today is about verb. So, verb have 3 types: the action verb, the linking verb, and the main verb. So, as we go through these 3 types of verbs, let us have the video presentation, which is all about verbs. So, listen attentively and understand the video, because afterwards, I will be giving set of examples and we are going to identify the 3 types of verbs in each sentences. So, enjoy watching.
When you head to the movie theater to catch an action movie, you expect a lot of stuff to happen, like cars chasing each other, action heroes leaping off buildings, and things exploding. In other words, you're in the mood for a lot of exciting verbs. So, what is a verb? That's an easy one, right? A verb is a word that expresses an action or occurrence. It's true that that's the core of it, but it does get a bit more complicated than that, and there are a few more definitions and rules that you'll need to be acquainted with as you work toward achieving your ultimate goal of becoming a verb master. There are a few different types of verbs and a few things to keep in mind about each type. Action verbs are what we most commonly think of when we think about verbs, and particularly when we think about action movies. An action verb is a word that expresses an action that the subject of a sentence does, did in the past, or will do in the future. Note that the subject of a sentence is a noun or pronoun that the sentence is about. The subject usually, though not always, performs the action of the verb. Remember that every sentence must have both a subject and a verb to be complete. Examples of action verbs are run, jump, go, think, do, live, and study. Note that action verbs include not just verbs that are truly action-packed. They include words like think and decide and other actions that aren't actually visible. For example, in the sentence, Miriam leapt over the couch, the subject Miriam is performing the action of the verb leapt. In the sentence, Miriam thought about what she had done, the subject Miriam is performing the action of the verb thought. Both sentences contain action verbs, even though one action is a bit more perceptible and exciting than the other. A linking verb is quite different from an action verb in that it doesn't actually express action. Instead, it connects a subject to the other words in a sentence that describe it or that provide additional information. Here are some examples of common linking verbs: appear, be, including am, is, are, was, and were, become, feel, get, look, seem, smell, sound, and taste. Linking verbs quite literally do what the name suggests. They link the subject of a sentence to additional words that tell more about the subject. Here are some examples of linking verbs at work. The kids appear excited about the holidays. My sister is nervous. I feel sick. Dinner smells delicious. Even though these linking verbs aren't showing big kinetic actions and movements, they are nonetheless verbs. They're not the kind of verbs that drive big-budget action movies, but rather movies that are maybe a little less exciting and that feature a lot of sitting around, talking, and emoting. There's one more type of verb that we'll cover in this lesson. A lot of verbs and sentences are comprised of more than one word. An auxiliary verb, also referred to as a helping verb, is one that is the part of a verb phrase that helps the main verb. As part of a verb phrase, a helping verb might show when an action occurs or whether the action is required. Let's look at a few examples to get a sense of just what auxiliary or helping verbs do. Examples of auxiliary or helping verbs include forms of the verbs be, do, and have, as well as verbs like can, may, must, should, and will. Here are some example sentences that include an auxiliary verb as part of a verb phrase. I may go to the doctor this afternoon. Julian has left for school already. The students must complete their work today. And you should have gotten in the other line. A verb is a word that expresses an action or occurrence. We focused on 3 types of verbs in this lesson. 1. An action verb is a word that expresses an action that the subject of a sentence does, did in the past, or will do in the future. Note that the subject of a sentence is a noun or pronoun that the sentence is about. The subject usually, though not always, performs the action of the verb. Remember that every sentence must have both a subject and a verb to be complete. A linking verb is quite different from an action verb in that it doesn't actually express action. Instead, it connects a subject to the other words in a sentence that describe it or that provide additional information. An auxiliary verb, also referred to as a helping verb, is one that is the part of a verb phrase that helps the main verb. As part of a verb phrase, a helping verb might show when an action occurs or whether the action is required.
Okay class, did you understand the video presentation about the 3 types of verbs? Sounds good! Since you understand the video presentation, so I have here the set of sentences. So let's fill in the blanks with the correct verb to complete the thought of the sentence. Let's choose our answers from the box provided. So the answers in the box are teach, knew, sung, settle, creeps, and saw. Okay, let's read the following sentences and answer. Let's have sentence number 1. The man blunk through the alley. So what's the answer? Very good. So the answer is creeps. So the man creeps through the alley. Sentence number 2. The instructors blank the classes as a team. So what's the answer? Okay, the answer is teach. Very good. So the instructors teach the classes as a team. Number 3. Daphne blanked the true meaning of the poem. What's the answer? Yes, very good. Sought. So the answer is sought. Daphne sought the true meaning of the poem. Number 4. Stuart's boat has not blanked since he got it patched. So what is the answer? Very good. The answer is sunk. So Stuart's boat has not sunk since he got it patched. Okay, the last sentence. The dog blanked I was opening the can. What's the answer? What's the 2 words left in the box? Okay, the answer is knew. The dog knew I was opening the can. So let's read all together from sentence number 1 to sentence number 5. Start. The man creeps through the alley. Number 2. The instructors teach the classes as a team. Number 3. Daphne sought the true meaning of the poem. Number 4. Stuart's boat has not sunk since he got it patched. Number 5. The dog knew I was opening the can. Very good. Clap ourselves, everyone. Okay, students. Are we clear with the types of verbs? With the action verb, linking verb, and the main verb, and also their functions? Very good. since you understand the three types of verbs, I have here a question. What is the essence of the verb in giving information and explanation? Any answers? Very good. The essence of the verb in giving information and explanation, this serves or this makes us this gives us clear understanding of what really the subject does in a sentence. Are we clear with that? Any answers? Are we all good? Okay. Since you are all familiar with the three types of verbs, let's check whether you familiarize all of those in these sentences. Good job, students! As I go through your answers with the evaluation earlier, I found out that you are all familiar with the three types of verbs. So I have here your assignment, and this will be done at home. So I will be collecting this tomorrow. Thank you, students, for listening and understanding our lesson for the day. I hope you all enjoy this day as we go through with our new lesson. So I hope this lesson will give you clearer understanding of what really is the importance of verbs in giving information and explanation in our daily life. So I hope you apply correct usage of verbs in giving information and explaining whatever it is. So God bless everyone. Stay safe and stay home.